Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Feels, and I'm back. Man, just wanted to get my thoughts on the Canelo and Caleb Plant fight. I really enjoyed the fight. Really good fight, man. Close to what I expected. But I definitely expected a pretty good fight, and it was just that, Caleb did what I thought he was going to do, which was be very competitive early on. I feel that he won most of the rounds, probably up until maybe maybe 7th, 8th. Not all the rounds. I mean, maybe Canelo won 2, 3. Maybe it was, closer to like a draw up until the knockout kind of thing. But it was a close fight. I wasn't seeing the whole. I don't think Canelo pulled away any earlier than like maybe 9. I think Caleb was doing very well. He made good use of the jab. He was jabbing to the head. I didn't see a ton of jabs to the body, but thought he could have jabbed to the body, maybe a little more. I definitely saw some good head jabs. He was snapping Canelo's head back. Some decent body punching. He was turning Canelo a little bit. He was feinting Canelo. The feints were beautiful, early on in the fight. He had Canelo just resetting and kind of pausing Canelo a little bit. Canelo would initiate, a punch, or it looked like he was going to go throw a hook, and he would just stop, and reset, because Caleb, swiveled up out or turned him, or, or just did something to disrupt his rhythm. And so I think Caleb Plant definitely did that very well. I knew I look at him as a better fighter than Billy Joe or Callum Smith. So I was looking for him to do better than those guys, which I think he did, even though Smith went the distance. Caleb was pretty close. I mean, if he would have went the distance, we saw that he was probably going to get robbed on the cards anyway. It was going to be a UD win for Canelo. But he definitely had a good chance to go the distance. But up until the 11th round, he did very well. He won way more rounds than any of those fighters anyway. So to me, with the 168 run, this is definitely his best win so far. And we'll see what Canelo does next, man. Canelo looked pretty good. It looked like he was just stalking Plant, really just trying to find, a good shot. He wasn't really setting up anything. He was going to the body. He was really looking for that hook. He definitely was throwing that hook to the body, throwing the hook to the head, trying to get him with the overhand right, threw a couple uppercuts when they would get close on the inside. Canelo would try to, get some work in. He would throw in the inside. He, try to throw a little uppercut or an overhand right, a little hook, things like that. So he was working on the inside when Caleb would get close. But I thought Caleb was outboxing him very well, stick and move, concept. At times he was fighting Canelo in the center of the ring, but Canelo would pick up, I noticed, during the closer to the end of the round kind of thing, and he would start walking Caleb down, or trying to anyway, and get his punches off, so yeah, I enjoyed the fight. I'm looking to see what Canelo does next, man. Undisputed at 168. I don't necessarily think he's unbeatable, but we may not see him get beat. But if he fights Charlo, Andrade, Benavidez, if he does move up and fight a Biev or a Bivol, I at least got maybe one of those fighters beating him, and they might be beating Canelo when he's lost a step. But I've always said Andrade would be another tough fight for Canelo. Even Charlo would be a tough fight for Canelo. These are all top, they're top level fighters, and so at this point, when you fight fighters like Andre, when you fight fighters like a Charlo, you go up like a Biev, these are top level fighters, and so I could see him having a hard time. But actually beating him, I would probably give the best chance to Andre, just as style wise, because I've just always kind of given it You know, I've been advocating for Andre to fight Charlo for I don't know how long. I just, you know, that's the unification at 160 that needs to happen, and it's just crazy that it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? And I really like Andre's skill set. You know, southpaw, real slick. You know, unorthodox kind of in the way that he punches, but he has good defense. You know, he can kind of do it all. You know, he can fight off the back foot. You know, he can jab and keep you at bay. You know, he can fight on the inside. You know, he's strategic with kind of the way that he approaches, you know, his game plan and stuff like that. So, you know, and he's a cerebral fighter. You know, he's thinking, he's trying to adjust and set things up. And that's a tough fighter, especially in a boxing match. You know, not to say that Canelo can't hurt him, potentially knock him out, things like that. But like in a boxing match, you know, Andre is, you know, it could be a nightmare. But I see Charlo, Andre, Benavidez, all those guys, you know, giving Canelo, you know, some trouble. But we'll see. You know, congrats to Canelo, congrats to Caleb. I think he did well. I definitely want to see him against the Benavidez of the world. I think he should probably go ahead and give that fight to Darrell, because that would be a good name, and I would have him over Darrell. You know, Darrell's about 37 now, but he's still a live dude, and he can fight. You know, the Darrell brothers can fight, so that would be good for Caleb. You know, get back in the mix. I still want to see him against, you know, Benavidez. If Charlo moves up, I want Charlo to fight Andre, man. Forget all that. Forget moving up. If he don't get the Canelo fight, he need to fight Andre. At 160, they both need to unify. It's ridiculous. Like, period. Your boy Jamal Charlo need to fight Andre if he don't get this Canelo fight next. Or he needs to completely vacate the belt and move up to 168 official in campaign. I sure appreciate you guys stopping by listening. Please give the like a video. That's all oh wow, please give the video a like. I just call myself. Anyway, man, I will catch you guys on the next one, and I'm out.